I didn't scream. I didn't run. I didn't even move. I waved back. And that is what still terrifies me. Because when I remember that moment, I don't just feel fear. I feel stupid. I feel guilty. Like I did something I wasn't supposed to do. What I'm about to tell you happened on a road I had traveled so many times that I stopped respecting it. A road I trusted. A road I thought I understood. Until that evening. Every weekend, I used to ride home to the countryside to visit my parents. I lived in the city because of my studies, but home was different. The air felt softer. The nights were darker, yes, but peaceful, safe, familiar. Usually, I left around midday. The ride was long, but it never bothered me. I knew every turn, every slope, every little crack in the road. I had done it so often that I could almost ride it with my eyes closed. Nothing had ever happened. Until one weekend, when I left late. That day I had a small gathering with friends. Just normal weekend stuff. Talking, laughing, time passing like it always does. And before I realized it, the day was almost gone. When I finally packed my bag and stepped outside, the sun was already sinking. The sky was orange, then purple, then gray. That kind of gray that makes you feel like night is rushing at you. I checked the time and hesitated. For a moment, I honestly thought maybe I should stay in the city tonight. Leave early in the morning. Play it safe. But I didn't. I told myself, it's fine. I've done this 100 times. I'll be home before it's fully dark. So I put on my helmet and started the engine. As I rode farther from the city, the road emptied out. Weekend roads are quieter anyway, but that night, it felt abandoned. Like the whole world had decided to stay inside. Soon the road narrowed. Trees grew taller. And the jungle closed in from both sides like a tunnel. There were no streetlights. No houses. No signs of life. No phone signal. The sound of my engine, and insects humming in the darkness. At first, I tried to stay calm. I kept my eyes forward. I didn't let my mind wander. But the deeper I rode into that jungle, the more it started to feel wrong. Not because anything happened, just because of how quiet it was. The kind of quiet that makes your own breathing feel loud. After riding for a long time, my hands started aching from gripping the handlebar. My shoulders felt tight. So I pulled over to rest and drink some water. Beside the road was a steep cliff. A dark drop into nothing. When I looked down, I couldn't see the bottom. It was like the darkness swallowed everything. I took off my helmet and drank some water. And that's when I noticed something above me. On the upper edge of the cliff, near a small tree, there was a girl. She looked young, maybe 13. She was wearing a white shirt and a white frock. The kind of white that stands out too much at dusk. Like someone placed a bright shape inside the darkness. She wasn't running. She wasn't crying. She wasn't even shifting her weight. She was just standing there, facing me. And then she lifted her hand, slowly, and waved. For a second, my brain didn't even process it as strange. It felt normal. Like she was just a child saying goodbye to a stranger passing by. So without thinking, without even questioning myself, I waved back. And then my mind caught up. I noticed her dress. It was moving violently, flapping hard, like a strong wind was hitting her. But the tree behind her, the leaves, the branches, they were completely still. That was the moment my stomach dropped. Because I realized something my brain didn't want to accept. There was no wind. Not on my face. Not on the road. Not in the trees. Not in the air around me. Only her dress was moving. And she was still waving. My body went cold so fast it felt like someone poured ice water down my spine. My skin started sweating. My chest felt tight. For a few seconds, I couldn't even move. I just stared at her, frozen, Like if I moved, something worse would happen. Then instinct took over. I grabbed my bag, put on my helmet, and turned my bike around. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the keys. I didn't look back. I just rode. A short distance away, I saw a small tea stall. Warm yellow light. A few people sitting there. Human voices. The sound of cups. It felt like safety. I stopped immediately and told them everything. My words came out messy and fast. I don't even know if I was making sense. I just needed someone to hear me and tell me I wasn't losing my mind. 3 men that were also heading in the same direction in a car. They listened and laughed. They said I was tired, that I was seeing things because it was getting dark, that it couldn't be anything. And honestly, part of me wanted to believe them. Finally, one of them said, "If you're that scared, follow us." I felt relief hit me like a wave. So I followed their car closely, almost glued to their tail lights. I kept thinking, if something happens again, they'll see it too. Then I'll know I'm not crazy. When we reached the exact spot, the cliff looked normal. No girl. No white dress. No waving. Nothing. For a moment, I felt embarrassed, like a child who panicked over shadows. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe my brain tricked me. Maybe it was just fear playing games. But then, about 10 minutes later, the car ahead slowed slightly. And I felt my stomach twist again before I even understood why. Because there she was. The same girl. Standing on the left side of the road. Same white dress. Same calm posture. Same slow wave. And this time, there was no excuse. All 4 of us saw her. The driver panicked. He sped up hard. And I did the same. None of us spoke. We didn't stop. We didn't look back. We just moved, like the road behind us had turned into something dangerous, something alive. We rode until we reached a small village. Lights. People. A place where darkness didn't feel so heavy. The men stopped the car. I stopped too. They were pale. Shaking. Silent. Then one of them looked at me and said quietly, "You were telling the truth." They apologized, but it didn't even matter. Because at that point, none of us felt like we'd won an argument. We just felt scared. We were too traumatized to continue, so we asked the villagers for shelter. When we told them what happened, an old woman listened quietly. And then, she smiled. Not a happy smile. A knowing smile. And that smile scared me more than the girl did. She said, "Many years ago, a schoolgirl fell from that cliff and died. She was returning from school." Then she looked at us and added, "She still appears there sometimes, waving goodbye." When she said that, the air in the room changed. Like the story had turned from something strange into something real. We stayed in the village that night. And in the morning, we thanked them and left. But I didn't feel relief. Because since that day, I've never traveled that road alone again. And I never travel at night if I can avoid it. Because even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see that slow wave. And I still don't know who or what I waved back at.